Okay, picture this. A firefighter charging into a burning building, flames practically licking at their gear, or maybe a scientist, handling some seriously hazardous material, but with this air of total confidence.
Yeah.
Ever stop to think about what makes that level of protection possible?
It's pretty amazing.
Today, we are doing a deep dive into, get ready for it, the world of protective clothing apparel manufacturing.
Okay.
We're going to uncover the ingenuity, the innovation, and, dare I say, the cool factor
Yeah, there is a surprising amount of that.
that goes into creating these lifelines.
Literal lifelines.
Yeah, it's serious business.
It really is fascinating work.
It is. And we've got some really great sources lined up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, including this super in-depth career guide from
Yep,
RoleCatcher.
heard of that one, yeah.
And a bunch of research on, like, all the latest advancements in the field.
Well, cool.
So get ready, because this isn't your grandma's sewing circle.
Definitely not.
We're talking high-tech textiles, cutting-edge design, and a whole lot of responsibility.
That's right. This isn't just about, like, stitching fabric together.
No.
It's about understanding, like, the whole science of safety,
Yeah.
anticipating potential hazards, engineering those solutions that literally, you said it, mean the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay.
The RoleCatcher guide, it really emphasizes that this job, it's about so much more than just sewing. They mention design, testing, innovation.
Absolutely. Think about it like a firefighter suit.
Yeah, good example.
It's not just about shielding from heat, right? We're talking resisting, tearing, repelling chemicals, even like blocking certain types of radiation. The level of like engineering involved is just, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's intense. And it's not just firefighters, right?
No.
We're talking about protecting people in all sorts of different fields from like a whole range of hazards.
Exactly. Construction workers, healthcare professionals, lab technicians, people in manufacturing plants.
It's everywhere.
Each industry, each job, it has its own unique set of risks.
Yeah.
Whether it's chemical spills, biohazards, extreme temperatures, you name it. And that's what makes this field so interesting, creating that specialized gear that can withstand incredibly specific and potentially very dangerous conditions.
So it's not just one type of garment fits all. You're really talking about understanding the nuances of each profession and its hazards.
Precisely. And that's where the design element becomes so critical. You're not just, like sewing a piece of clothing. You're crafting a barrier between a person and like potential harm. Right. It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned innovation earlier, and this is where I think it gets really cool.
Okay.
The research we've got here, it hints at things like smart fabrics and nanotechnology playing a role in the future of this field.
Yes, and that's a perfect example of how dynamic this industry is.
Right.
I mean, imagine like a firefighter's suit that can actually track their heart rate
Wow, right.
and their body temperature.
Yeah.
In real time,
No way.
alerting them to potential heat exhaustion before it even becomes critical.
That's incredible.
That's the kind of game-changing technology we're talking about.
Wow. So we're talking about clothing that can actually sense danger and potentially alert someone before it even happens.
That's the goal.
That's wild.
And it's not just about those reactive measures. I mean, imagine materials that can actually neutralize harmful substances just like that on contact,
Right.
providing this extra layer of protection. This field, it's constantly evolving, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So it's safe to say, I think, this isn't your typical manufacturing job at all.
Not at all. This is a field on the cutting edge. It blends that traditional craftsmanship with like seriously advanced technology.
Yeah.
And it's a career path that's only going to become more important
Right.
as workplaces, well, they become more complex and new hazards emerge.
Yeah. Which brings us to a pretty surprising point from the research, actually.
Yeah.
Apparently, this career path, get this, is expected to see some pretty significant growth in the coming years.
Interesting.
You wouldn't normally associate that with a manufacturing job.
It's true.
So what's driving that growth? What makes this field different?
Well, I think a couple of things, really.
Okay.
First, like you were saying, workplaces are getting more complex,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing all this new tech, new materials,
Sure.
even,
Yeah.
new viruses, unfortunately.
Right.
And all of that just naturally leads to new hazards,
Makes sense.
And where there are new hazards, well, obviously, there's a demand for new protective gear, more innovative stuff.
Right. Because the old stuff just isn't going to cut it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the second factor is
Okay.
This might surprise you. It's the whole sustainability thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, even within manufacturing, there's this big push for sustainability now.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have immediately connected sustainability with this industry.
I know, right? Most people don't, but it's true.
Huh.
It's changing so fast, though.
Oh, okay.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Using more durable materials,
Right, right.
things that last longer,
Okay.
that means fewer replacements,
Which means,
less waste.
oh, I see. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, like, figuring out ways to reduce emissions during the whole production process.
Oh, okay.
That's a huge right now, a major focus.
So it's like they're really trying to green up the whole industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And all of that together, it makes for a much greener industry overall.
And likely attracting new investment and talent as well, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Especially those younger generations just entering the workforce now.
Right.
They're all about sustainability.
Yeah, they're looking for that.
It's a big deal for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they want to be a part of industries that, kind of match their values.
Right. They want to work for companies that are trying to do the right thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so for anyone listening who's now like picturing themselves designing these next-gen hazmat suits,
Right.
or maybe those self-monitoring firefighter jackets we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
What does a career path in this field actually look like?
Well, the RoleCatcher guide actually lays out a pretty good,
Oh, right.
a pretty diverse range of possibilities, really.
Okay. Yeah.
So it goes from entry-level roles all the way up to leadership positions,
Okay.
like director of production and things like that.
So there's real potential to climb the ladder in this field.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah.
You might start as a junior production technician, for example.
Okay.
In that kind of role.
Uh-huh.
You'd be operating machinery,
Yeah.
assembling parts of garments,
Right.
maybe even helping out with quality control inspections.
So you'd be getting hands-on experience with the actual gear right from the start.
Yeah, absolutely, right from day one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get your hands dirty.
You'd be learning how these protective garments are made and the strict quality standards they need to meet.
Yeah, because those are obviously really important.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then, as you get more experience,
Yeah.
you might move into a senior technician role.
What would that involve day to day?
Let's see, you might be leading a small team,
Okay.
maybe overseeing a specific stage of the production process,
Okay.
or even working with the design team to improve, the way a particular garment works.
I can see how that would appeal to someone with a real problem-solving mindset.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
For sure.
Interesting.
And then, at the top, you've got the director of production.
Right, right.
They're the ones setting those big strategic goals for the whole department.
Right.
Managing budgets,
Okay.
maybe even overseeing multiple production facilities.
Wow. So it's a big job.
Yeah, it's a big job making sure those garments, those life-saving garments, are actually getting made and out into the world.
So you've got this clear trajectory, from hands-on production to big picture strategy.
Exactly.
But what about the skills themselves? What does it take to even break into this field?
Well, you need passion, that's for sure.
Okay.
A passion for safety. I mean,
Right.
This isn't just about making clothes, it's about protecting people's lives.
Right. It's a big responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Yeah.
you need a solid understanding of how textile manufacturing works.
Okay. So some background there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And knowledge of industry regulations is really important too.
So keeping up with those ever-changing safety standards we talked about earlier is key.
Oh, absolutely. Got to stay on top of that stuff.
Yeah.
Constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And it would be super valuable to, just have a basic understanding of the hazards themselves.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
You're not just sewing a seam, you're problem solving too. You need to understand what you're protecting against.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Okay.
And the RoleCatcher guide also mentions that certifications can be really helpful,
Okay.
like the Certified Safety Professional one, the CSP.
Those sound impressive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because it really shows,
Yeah.
that you've got a deep understanding of safety principles and best practices.
Right.
It's a signal to potential employers that you're serious about this, that you've got the knowledge to back it up.
Right. That you're not messing around.
Exactly.
Okay. We've talked about the cool factor.
Yeah.
The career paths, the fact that this industry is going to be huge.
It's going to be big.
But let's get real for a second.
Okay.
What are the downsides? What are the tough parts of working in this field? You're right. Every job has its downsides. So what are we talking about here? What makes this job truly challenging?
Well, you hit it on the head earlier, actually. Keeping up with all those, safety regulations.
You're right.
Always changing, it seems like.
Yeah.
New hazards pop up, technology keeps advancing.
Yeah.
And the standards for protective clothing, They have to keep pace.
Yeah.
It's a lot to stay on top of.
That's understandable, but it also sounds like it could be kind of overwhelming, constantly playing catch up.
Oh, it definitely keeps you on your toes. You got to be ready to, like, shift gears at a moment's notice.
Right, right.
New regulation comes out. You got to be adaptable. Maybe adjust production processes, even the materials you're using.
So you need to be comfortable with a fast-paced environment for sure.
So for sure.
What else? What other challenges come to mind?
Another big one is this balancing act.
Okay.
Functionality versus wearability.
Right, because they have to actually function.
Right. These things have to be tough,
Yeah.
able to withstand some crazy conditions.
Yeah.
But, and this is a big but, they also have to be something someone can wear comfortably for hours on end.
Right, a firefighter's suit wouldn't be very effective if they could barely move or breathe in it.
Exactly. Imagine the gear is too bulky, too restrictive. People aren't going to wear it right. Or, even worse, they're going to be putting themselves at risk in other ways just because they're uncomfortable or they can't move right.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Finding that sweet spot, maximum protection without, sacrificing comfort and practicality, that's a constant challenge.
It sounds like a really delicate design dance.
It really is. And then, of course, there's
The elephant in the room?
well, one of them,
Okay.
cost management.
Right, of course.
That's always a factor in manufacturing.
Yeah.
But these high-tech, high-performance materials, they're not cheap.
No, I imagine not.
So finding ways to keep those costs down without compromising safety, that's another balancing act.
It's a lot to juggle, that's for sure. So, knowing all of this, why do it? Why would someone choose this career path with all of its complexities and pressures?
Because, for me anyway, it's just incredibly rewarding.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
not just cranking out a product. You're playing a part in keeping people safe.
Yeah.
Knowing that your work helps someone go home safe to their family every night,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty powerful.
I can see how that would be a huge motivator. It's not every job where you can see such a direct impact, like that direct line between what you do and someone else's well-being.
Exactly. And on a more, I don't know, professional level, I guess,
Yeah.
this is a field that's just bursting with opportunities for innovation, for growth. You're constantly learning, experimenting, new materials, new technologies. Always got to be on the lookout for that.
Right, because things are changing so quickly.
Exactly.
You can't just rest on your laurels.
No. You're not just keeping pace. You're shaping the future of safety, really.
That's a great way to put it. And as the demand for this stuff continues to grow, which you said it is, the skills and, frankly, the dedication required to really make it in this field,
Oh, they're only going to become more valuable.
that's for sure. This has been an incredible deep dive, honestly.
It has.
I mean, we've gone from the factory floor to, like, cutting-edge material science all in one conversation.
Right.
It's amazing to me how much ingenuity, how much dedication goes into making the gear that keeps so many people safe.
It's easy to overlook.
Totally.
We don't always think about the people behind the scenes, but they play such a vital role in so many different industries.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good reminder that safety isn't just a given. It's the result of a lot of hard work, a lot of really smart people. So next time we see a construction worker in a high-vis vest, a doctor in scrubs, or a firefighter rushing into danger, anyone really who relies on this gear.
Take a second, just to appreciate the thought, the expertise, all the work that went into making sure they're safe.
Well said. It might even inspire someone listening to consider a career in this field. Who knows? Thanks for joining us for this eye-opening deep dive. Until next time.